Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to the Retro News Roundup. To start this month, there was a Mega Drive Mini announced by Sega. Nothing is known about it other than it'll be out later this year. But in more sensational news, Billy Mitchell, high score gamer extraordinaire, was officially stripped of his various video game high score records by Twin Galaxies last month. Twin Galaxies are the world's largest tracker of video game world records, and it's also banned Mitchell from submitting new scores. This means that he can no longer be recognised as the first million-point scorer in Donkey Kong. However, Mitchell promised in a subsequent video reply that a new investigation will prove that he didn't cheat. I'll give you more news on this saga as I get it, but who do you trust? Let me know in the comments. Next up, 2 Kickstarters were launched last month, one for the Zzap 64 Annual 2019. If you don't know, Zzap 64 was a long-running magazine dedicated to covering the Commodore 64. This is the second such annual to be released. There was one published last year, and a copy will set you back £15. Then there was also a Kickstarter for the Myst 25th Anniversary Collection. It's basically all the Myst games in one package. It's PC only, and it will cost you $49 for a digital copy. And finally, 19 Xbox titles are now backwards compatible for the Xbox One, including Jade Empire and all-time classic Blinks, the Time Sweeper. Let's start this episode with the Nintendo Switch. Titles released for the console last month include Wild Guns Reloaded and a stack of Arcade Archive titles, namely Ninja Kid, Neo Geo Samurai Showdown 3, Gurarin, and Real Bout Fatal Fury Special. There was also a Johnny Turbo arcade game released. Bad dudes. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Now's your chance to find out. Next comes the PS4, which was plagued with Arcade Archive titles last month, such as Neo Geo titles Magical Drop 3, Power Spikes 2, Blazing Star, Samurai Showdown 3, Shock Troopers 2nd Squad, Aero Fighters 3, and Real Bout Fatal Fury 2. That's a lot of arcade archiving right there. Finally, for new retro releases, 25th anniversary editions of Simon the Sorcerer 1 and 2 were made available on Steam. I will add though that the original PlayStation Spyro trilogy is getting the remaster treatment. It'll come out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in September. Oh, and that remaster of Night Trap is also coming to the Switch. A couple of IndieGoGo pieces of news for this section, the first being that a funding page was launched for new compatible cases for the Amiga 500 and Plus models. You'll have to shell out roughly $100 for one. Get it? Shell? Because it's a case? Honestly, I'm wasted on you. And second, an IndieGoGo will also be launched for the Atari VCS system on May the 30th. Oh yeah, the Commodore 64 Mini was released in March, by the way. Somehow forgot that in the last episode. My bad. I'll start this segment with the SMS Power Competition 2018, which saw loads of Master System games released, including Duck Slayer Adventures, Galactic Revenge, and Gemitas. A stack of Commodore 64 games came out in April too, namely Digger, Crank Evolution, Diced 64, Arhina the Amazon, and Counterweight Kate. They're all free apart from the latter, which you can choose to pay as much as you want for, as long as it's $1 or over. So basically it costs $1. Then there was a quartet of ZX Spectrum titles, including Jetboot Joe, Tea Leaf Ted, Man version, Rover, and Buzzsaw, with the latter costing you £5. Next, a couple of MSX titles, Bud Haggily and Burn Us. Then to round off this stacked homebrew section, Baby screamed onto the Atari 2600, Wonder Boy ventured onto the Commodore Amiga, Veggie Tablets Go grew onto the NES, and finally Galactic Tomb was exhumed onto the Amstrad CPC. Just one long-thought-lost game was rediscovered last month, and it's a title by British developer Legend, namely Complex City for the ZX Spectrum. Not much else to say really. Next section. 3 English language fan translations were released last month, 2 for Mega Drive titles, namely Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon and Fancy Star 3 Generations of Doom. The other game, The Cursed Treasure of Cleopatra for the Famicom Disk System. That's all for this month then, but thanks so much for watching. I also wanted to say thank you to everyone who liked the previous instalment. It may not seem much, but seeing the like counter hit over the 100 mark always makes me smile. So do like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you have a great month. I'll see you again very soon.
What did you do, Nicole?